Back on the Blue Demon Room podcast with my co-host Jenna Duddleston. I'm Casey Standahar, and we are joined by another 2025 DePaul Athletics Hall of Fame inductee, Saskia Roberson. Saskia, they call you Ski, right?
Yes.
Can we call you that?
Absolutely.
Sure, you prefer it. You were a former softball player, and your list of accolades is crazy. One of three-time All-American softball players from DePaul. You were on the 2005 World Series team. You hold DePaul's all-time record with 51 career home runs, and no one's ever been able to beat that. We were talking before the show, and she was like, that is crazy work.
That's insane.
It is. I'm shocked no one has beat it because these bats these days are crazy.
Yeah.
They're like hot. So I'm waiting for someone to kind of beat it. Records are meant to be broken.
Sure,
True.
but still amazing what you did. And I was so not only moved by your speech last night, but also laughing. Like my stomach hurt. Everybody was laughing when you were up there speaking about just your time at DePaul and staying in the hotel and also representation. Not really a laughing moment, but a really serious moment. You made it fun and light. You talked about how, and you kind of, I'm quoting you, you said, there weren't like chocolate bars like me out there at DePaul.
No, there weren't. There's a whole history of pictures, and I just looked at them, and I'm like, okay, where's the chocolate? There was one little sprinkle, and I think it was 98. I think it was Liza's year. And they were like, oh, we had one black girl. I'm like, that was this chocolate chip. I'm talking about like a whole bar.
Yeah. And to be able to, come into DePaul and show that women of color can play this sport and also exceed at the highest level here at DePaul, and then have the career you had and the stats that you had, what did that mean to you to then for it to all come to a head yesterday and get that induction?
It meant everything to me because, like I said in my speech, I would go into the athletic center and look around. I'm like, all these pictures of people on the wall, where's mine? And I would call back after. I'm like, anybody put my picture up yet? So when I got the call saying I was inducted, I'm like, okay, finally. That's when I said, mic drop moment. At least, it was recognized. Even though my picture wasn't up there, I feel like I did something. So,
That's
and now,
awesome.
like looking at the girls that are on the team now, there's multiple that look like me. So it's amazing. I feel like I kind of started that.
What does it mean to you to see, like you said, so many, women who look like you that are playing today, and just, women of color like playing and excelling not only in softball but in other sports?
It's amazing because softball isn't, you need more than just a ball. You need all this equipment. You need, bats are ridiculously priced. So a lot of times in communities that a lot of us come from, they don't really have that opportunity. I was fortunate enough to have that. I had parents that did a lot for me, but like it's not always afforded to everyone. It's easy to play basketball because someone has a ball. We all can get out there as long as you have some shoes. You can do it. But when you get into sports like softball or hockey and like everything else, you have to have so much to play. So I don't think it was that big back then. And now I feel like we're kind of making more money. We're doing bigger things as a whole. So our children are able to do things.
And you mentioned the support from your family to kind of help get you there. So what was the introduction like when you started to pick up a softball and say, I want to do this?
My mom would take me to her slow pitch games. And back then she didn't know that little girls were really into it because I did t-ball a little bit and I played baseball for a hot second. And I just naturally was kind of good. Like it was weird because I didn't have any training at that point. But when she took me to her games, I started playing catch with her, and like I said, she literally hit me in the head. It was just like, get the ball, pick it up, and keep going. Like, you need to toughen it out. All of us back then, I feel like we were some tough kids. Like, my kid now could never. You hit her in the head, it's like death. Like, she's falling out, shots fired. Like, she's on the ground. So now it's like, she hit me in the head. I'm like, hold on, get your glove up the next time. So now I know, put my glove up. So my mom kind of was talking to a lady on the team, and I guess her daughter played, and then that's how I kind of got into softball league in Oakland back then, and then I just got good, and then it was like, okay, you need to find a coach that teaches you how to do something to break it down, because I'm just naturally just going out there doing whatever. So once I got to him, I was probably 13, I want to say. Completely, that man was crazy. He can not even be looking at you and know exactly what you did wrong swinging the bat. And it was just amazing to me. So I got good, and from then on, it was just like, okay, my parents couldn't afford to send me to college, so somebody got to do something. So that's what happened.
Your coach sounds like there was a movie. Oh my God, guys, help me out! Amy Adams, Justin Timberlake. It's like it's all
baseball movie.
It's all about the sound.
The Trouble with the Curve.
Trouble with the Curve, yeah. And he talks about, he's like, there's a sound that you hear, and you know, and even like going to baseball games now, like you know that sound. You know when it's going, and you're like, it's beautiful, just beautiful. Take us back to when you were getting recruited. Who were you in high school? What were you like back then?
Kind of a big deal, I guess.
I know, no, not kind of. You are a big deal.
For sure.
I don't know, you know. I was pretty good. That was my prime. I played all 4 years varsity. I played pretty much only first base in high school. I was the one they kind of depended on. I tell the story a lot to where we had a senior trip, and I had to miss out on part of my senior trip because we got into the playoffs. So my coach was like, if I pay for you, can I please get you back from Disneyland? I'm like, fine. So it was kind of like, you know, a lot was on my shoulders, but it was fun. Like I felt like I was excelling, and at that point I had already signed to DePaul, so I had a direction. But yeah, I was a big deal, I guess.
You talked about Oakland and being from California. What were your first impressions of Chicago when you first came here?
Girl, I was like, my recruiting trip, I didn't come where it was snow, but it was freezing.
Yeah.
But they took me downtown, and I was immediately, okay, sign me.
Yeah.
I want to come here. It's fun. But living here through the winter,
Cold.
hot, man.
So cold.
We go and visit the snow. We don't live in it. It eats up your cars. Y'all salting your driveway, shoveling the driveway. Ain't nobody got time for that.
You mentioned that in your speech yesterday, too. You're like, thank you for everyone to come here before it snowed.
I really had prayer, girl. I was like, please, Jesus, because I don't want to land and see no fluffy stuff. Because, first of all, I don't play about my daughter missing school. And so she's out this week, but we couldn't get back home until Monday morning. So I'm like, don't delay me. I don't have time. She's getting off the plane and going to school, and at least she gonna be in a class like I said, at least fake like you make an effort, because I'm not, you're gonna, because she has her last volleyball game Tuesday. I'm like, you can't miss school. You have to get in there.
Gotta be there.
So there. Hot mess. I don't know how y'all do it. I don't want to. It's beautiful.
In
but
the
I
summer?
just don't want to live.
Yeah.
This past year has really, there's been like a few years here where it's like made me question my sanity. And this past year, my cousin posted a really funny video of her daughter, and it was like the zillionth day of summer, and she's like in the swings, and she's like, oh my God, like, are we done yet? Because it's just been so cold. But you suffer, and seasonal depression is a thing. I didn't realize it until Monday when it was 62 degrees outside, and I was like this in the window. I was like, give me all the vitamin D. This feels fantastic. But besides the winter, obviously, and downtown, what was your decision on choosing DePaul?
I kind of felt like they still created the family atmosphere. Like Huge and Jeannie, I went to their house to visit. I just felt like it was more than just a coach, more than just, somebody just wants you to play in their team. Like I feel like they really would be down for me if it came down to it. So, and it really showed after I started playing, because he let us go home on our Stanford trip. He let me and a couple other girls go stay at my house. Like, go ahead. But you don't really hear that a lot with other coaches. It's kind of like, but he's really all about family. So I kind of felt comfortable. We didn't have the best of facilities and whatnot back then, but it didn't really matter to me. Like I wanted to feel like I was in a place where I was okay being away from home, because that's a big move. I couldn't imagine like thinking about my daughter now. I couldn't imagine her saying, Mom, I'm going to Chicago. Like, first of all, you can't even cook, so I don't know how you are going to survive if you just leave, because she's the laziest person ever. But yeah, it was just the family aspect of it. The friends, the people treated me really nice, and so I felt comfortable on my recruiting trip to sign.
DePaul has changed a lot since you were here. What are some of the new things that stand out to you?
First of all, the athletic center, like what in the heck? First of all, y'all have a room. You have your own locker room. We shared with everybody.
That's right.
We couldn't even lock your stuff up. You had to kind of take your stuff with you. It was kind of get in where you fit in. Our uniforms were jazz or something like that. Like you have you ever worn jazz?
I've never even heard of jazz.
Exactly.
I'm thinking jazz,
yeah,
which is
exactly.
not
Not
what
the
I,
same
which
thing.
is not the same jazz.
That was the
It
brand.
was called jazz. Even it was a point where we wore World Series patches on our arm from old uniforms that I was not even a part of.
Wow.
What am I wearing this
Just
for?
making
this
it
does not
work.
represent me. I used to try to like tuck my. I'm like, this is not me. First of all, I was not there, so it was. We were broke. Now it looked like y'all got a little money. Like what happened?
A little bit.
So even the fields, I didn't even get to experience the turf. I lost a tooth on Wish Field.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's because I'm 5'9". I don't know why a lot of people couldn't hit me in the chest, but a lot of times I did pick the ball, and one hit a rock because we would have to go out there before games and like pick out rocks.
Yeah, it's the
and
worst.
glass, and it was hood. So that ball hit whatever it hit and hit me in the mouth. Spit
Lost
out
a
my
tooth.
tooth. Went to the dugout, gave it to the trainer, went back on the field.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so I left my tooth on Wishfield.
Now you got a new tooth.
Yeah, I did. We had some
Wow.
good insurance too. So it was nice. I made sure I used that.
Smart. She's laughing.
I'm sorry. I'm just trying to imagine like losing a tooth in a game, being like blood's coming out. Was it a front tooth? Was it a back tooth?
No, I probably would have been devastated.
That's
Yeah.
like that's my thought. I'm like, if it's my front tooth, I'm like, game's over. Like forfeit. Like no,
done.
I gotta go. Like take me to the dentist right now. Like I would have a panic
I
attack.
probably still would have played, but that's my big thing. I don't mess around with my teeth.
No.
If something's gone, you got to put a chiclet up there or something real quick. I'm not about to be a field goal.
Okay,
Chiclet.
let me try and get back on track here. Besides your tooth and your chiclet, okay, you were recruited by a fellow inductee, Liza, who we had chatted to a little bit earlier today. What is it like to be back with her? and to see her?
Amazing. I haven't seen her in so long. It's crazy because she was my coach, I think, 1 year, and I think she was gone, I want to say. So her leaving was kind of devastating, too, because I felt like she was the one that kind of came after us, and we would see her a lot of times at the fields. My parents would see her, and then after her, we started seeing Huge. But, like, just being in that, when I saw her, and I'm like, oh, she's why I was here.
Aw.
So it was, like, a sweet kind of moment for us.
Yeah, that was special. And you mentioned her in your speech too, which I thought was really cool.
Of course.
Yeah.
'Cause she's definitely why I got here. Because at that point, I wasn't really I was getting offers, but it was like, they were giving me a little sprinkle. Oh, we'll give you 75%. First of all, I'm not going to Timbuktu to get 75%. You better
Yeah.
pay me, like, run that money.
Right.
I'm not doing that. So once it got to them and they kind of said, okay, we'll give you, I'm like, all right. I
That's
can do
great.
that.
Well, it paid off. In 2005, you helped bring DePaul to the College World Series. The final game against Northwestern that you won to qualify. What do you remember about that game, if you do? You know, we're asking you to go back in time here.
I know. That was when we had to play them at UIC. That was another P moment. I don't think I had a big moment to where I scored a run. But I felt like we were losing to them all year. It was kind of like back and forth. But I just remember the moment at the end to where we realized we finally did it. Because my mom had made a deal with me that if I went to the World Series, it started with you get a car. And then it was like, okay, I'll put rims on your car too. So it was kind of like,
More incentive.
got it, finally. Because it was hard. They used to send us to places like Minnesota, and we would be in the same regional with Arizona and Cal in their prime. So once they changed that format, it gave opportunity for us to kind of wiggle our way through. So it was
cool.
nice.
Are big games like that the ones that are the most memorable, or are there other games that like stick out to you?
There's a couple games that kind of stick out. One where I was robbed of a home run. I still, to this day, say it's fair. Because someone's dad went out there and got the ball, and he's like, I'm still in fair territory.
Yeah.
And it was Valparaiso, which weren't really good back then, so it was kind of fun. I think I hit back-to-back Grand Slams,
No big deal.
and then a home run.
Everyone can do that.
But then a home run too, and that's
Yeah.
what they took away from me. I'm like, give me my
Wow.
3, because it was the first time I would have
Yeah.
had
Yeah.
3. And
That's crazy.
I remember that one because I'm like, give me my home run. I have 52.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You had it. It's
Yeah.
fine. It counts. Any advice that you would give to future DePaul softball players or anyone that wants to come to DePaul and have a similar career and maybe try to beat that record?
I would say put in the extra work. I think back then I was more so like, okay, practice is over, let me get home. But the extra work is when you really get it. Like, okay, everyone's doing practice, but if you do some stuff on your own, it makes you that much better. Like I'm feeling it now. I play slow pitch softball, and all of the muscle is gone. All of the swing isn't gone. I won't say that, but just if you stop doing it, it's kind of hard to excel at it. So you got to put in the work. So I'm feeling it now.
Was the extra work like something you enjoyed doing, or was it like, all right, like to motivate yourself to do it?
Back then, I had to motivate.
Yeah.
I wasn't really that. I wish I was. So I would say for anyone that's coming into it now, you need to put in the extra work to just make your mark. I mean, I still kind of made my mark, but I feel like my mark could have been a little bit more, you know.
That's saying a lot considering the mark you've made. If you feel you could have done more, you know.
Of course. I mean, there's times, you know, like my freshman year, I think I only had 7 home runs. Like I was kind of easing my way into it and not really. But I felt like if I put more work in, maybe I'll get the more playing time, the more at bats, you know, show what I can do. But you're a freshman, you never know. But I just wanted to come in hot.
Your mentality, your drive, your spirit has been inspiring. We're so grateful to have you on. And congratulations again. Thank you.
Thank you, girl.
Thank you.
Back on the Blue Demon Room podcast for our very special Hall of Fame episode. The 2025 Hall of Fame, Athletics Hall of Fame inductees are joining us today. Jenna Duddleson, my co-host. I'm Casey Standahar. And this, of course, she needs no introduction. This is Liza VandenLangenberg. Liza, to talk about your accolades would take me a while. 2-time All-American on the softball team, inducted into the DePaul Hall of Fame in '99 with your team, who finished 3rd in the College World Series, and then inducted again. So it was like not enough to be in once. Like that's how cool she is. Still ranks among DePaul's all-time leaders in slugging percentage, opponent batting average, strikeout rate, and RBI. Played professionally in Akron, Ohio for the Akron Racers, and then coached at DePaul in 2000 and onward. Thank you for joining us today.
It's not a lot. She hasn't done a lot, you know. No. It's really not. It's not much, guys.
It's light work. Congratulations. How was last night to be back, to see everybody and have some fun?
Yeah, it was a long time since I'd seen a lot of faces. So, emotional too. So it was very nice. It was you guys put on a very nice display of everything.
That's the people
too.
behind us here. Not me. I just say the words. Who was there in support? You got to see some teammates too?
Yep, a couple teammates were there. Saskia, I had recruited her and coached her 1 year. Tracy Adix was there as well. I recruited her. She coached, I believe, with DePaul, and I think she went to Madison to coach with another player of ours that's coaching at Madison. So it was nice to see them. Huge, Jeannie, and Doug Bruno. I hadn't seen in a long time either. My family, basically, my mom came, my brother, his wife, my whole family, my 3 kids and my husband, and my cousin who grew up as like my sister. I didn't want to confuse everybody in my speech and say my
I have a cousin
sister
like
cousin.
That too. Yeah.
So,
I understand, yeah.
Cousins and a good family friend came with us, so.
I have a really special place in my heart for DePaul softball because it was one of the first sports that I covered at DePaul as a sideline reporter and as an analyst. And I didn't play in college, so I'm not like, I don't know as much as you do. I never will. But I just loved covering the softball team and just the connection that I had with those athletes and just the love that they have for the game. So when you look at the state of women's softball today, how does it make you feel seeing that the sport has grown so much?
It's changed a lot. It's like we were Julie Bonk, who was my catcher when I played. We were chatting last night, and we said, "Wow, what could we have done?" Not like then, what they know now. Like you work out different. You're the training. You can train for every muscle in your body anymore. Like there's just so much more knowledge that way. So I think that was one of the biggest things that we saw that was like amazing to see these girls playing so awesome and making these great plays because their bodies are prepped way better than, us. We'd do a little running on the stairs or whatever, but we weren't like, in the gym doing all these different things. So that I think is the biggest change for me to see is like just the knowledge of the workout side of the sport for
And how
girls.
it can help them exceed.
Yeah, I mean, like your balls, just everything they do now. They just didn't do that.
There's a lot of like, I don't want to say like scientific breakdown, but there is kind of, there is a science to, here's what your BMI should be, or here's how you
Right.
can strengthen the muscles around the tendon so you don't tear this tendon, which is like
Right.
insane to think that like we even have that
Right.
knowledge now to, just kind of really elevate you in a way.
And less injuries. I mean, right? You're
Yeah.
protecting your body better.
What were the conditions and culture around softball like when you played? You've obviously talked about like how much has changed, or like what was it like when you were here?
Well, I transferred in my sophomore year, and I went to Cal State Fullerton in California. So it was, you're kind of like more of a number, there, like not basically for your team, but as a whole for the school and you go to class, there's 500 people in
You
your
don't
class.
know anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, and I just always felt like a number there. Plus, the coach didn't want me to do anything but pitch, so that was pretty much why I transferred here. Transferred here. But I would honestly say it was welcoming. It was a family environment. It was pretty cool, like into the senior year when we went to the World Series, to see how the alumni, like old alumni, all came together, like they called it a Conebago. Karen Loicano coined the phrase Conebago in their Winnebago RV, and they drove all the way out to, the World Series. So it was just a family, very tight family, I would say. Everybody was into the desire to just make DePaul something, I think was what everyone had. And I think, you can't always do that if people don't care. Your whole team really, we had that 100% drive to do that. Not to say they don't anymore. But
Right.
It was a smaller knit type.
You could feel that.
Yeah. I would say.
What was behind your decision to come back to DePaul as a coach?
Well, I never left, so I basically, as soon as I was done, I had decided to maybe take some grad classes, and then I did want to coach at that point. So yeah, I just wanted to stay and coach, and I was still in it, and I enjoyed my time coaching with Lee, who was my pitching coach when I played. She was the other assistant with Huge, and we loved what we were doing. So yeah, I just stayed, and I only left because my brother was having a baby and my family's not around. And so it was just kind of like, okay, it's time to go be by the family.
Sure.
So.
Do you feel like you're more of a player or a coach at heart?
I would say probably both. Like I still play with my son, which is nice. My girls don't play softball, but the boy plays baseball. So I get my fix that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I would say probably a player because I still love to play, but I feel I am a very good coach because I can break stuff down, and I'm not the kind of coach that's going to be like, okay, you both are going to do it this way. No, you have a different body. You have a different what you're doing. You can't. I feel like I was good at getting the best out of every individual. To see their differences, I guess.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
That I was going to say, as a coach too, that's what makes a great coach. It's not a one size fits all.
Right.
And I was a volleyball player back in the day, and I was a setter, and we had this like setting program for my club team. And I remember the thing I found so interesting was everyone in the room. So it's all quarterbacks, right? It's all quarterbacks in the room. And it could be very easy to be like, everyone needs to look like this.
Right.
But we all looked really different, and we all had a really unique style. But it was like, okay, you're really good at this, so we're going to teach you how to like elevate that. And,
Right.
and again, it's just, if you can find a coach that can do that, man, like that's a really special person.
Right,
to
like
have
hone
around.
in on what they're really good at, and help each individual. That
Yeah.
is important.
You mentioned her, but you recruited fellow inductee Saskia Roberson. But between the two of you, you guys brought the house down with your speeches. I thought they
She
were so good. She was so funny. But everyone just had such, just good energy around their speeches last night. What was it like being back at DePaul with her yesterday?
Yeah, when I saw she was an inductee as well, I was like, oh, wow, that's, like kind of made me feel old, but in the same sense, it was amazing because she was, I didn't get to see all of her career, but the 1 year I did work with her, it was fun. She's a very funny, good person, so it was a lot of laughs and a lot of hard work. So
It's got to feel rewarding to bring in someone who had similar success that you did, and in
Sure.
a different way. But
sure. Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect to be thanked either, you know. So when she did that, I was like, okay, because you don't always know what other people, how they perceive things or what they take in at the time. And, you know, like Tracy too, she's like, I have all your letters you wrote me. You know, and I was like, wow, you know, I just, you don't know that, so you don't even think of it. And I just thought it was really warming that, you know, they somehow remembered me in that moment of their life, so.
When you saw Saskia the first time you were recruiting her, was there something that like stood out to you, or was there like a moment where you're like, there's something special about her, or like what do you remember?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like she said, her coach would like definitely move her around, you know, so you're like wondering, you don't really know, but I could just see, I feel like when she wasn't on the field, her attitude, she did great hitting and you know, that stuff, but I think her demeanor and her happiness and just like her character is what I really felt like would be a good fit too, because it added more than just an athlete. It was, you know, for myself, I wanted to be a good teammate. So I think I kind of recruited that way as well. Like, you know, you're good, but are you a good person?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's key.
I don't want, you know, beep on the team,
Yeah.
you know, so
100%.
you get them anyway, but.
Right. And on that same thread, what do you think is special about DePaul softball?
Well, there's a lot special. I would just say that everybody involved puts a lot into it. I mean, look at what you guys are doing. You know, that's awesome. Giving a voice to, you know, softball wasn't like it is now. It wasn't, okay, you got your basketball teams, you have, you know, your football teams, and, you know, maybe basketball for women's, but I feel like DePaul really did give a lot to the softball team to make it one of the top programs in the nation. So I would say that's pretty special, especially when you come from, you know, not one, like a UCLA who's been good for 50 years, you know, and they've just got the name. So it was like, that I thought was awesome with DePaul, because they didn't care that they were maybe smaller or not in that level of a name, and we got there. So I think that's what was extra special with DePaul at the time.
Do you have any advice for future students who are maybe interested in coming to DePaul and hoping to maybe have a career and an impact that you've had here?
I would say go for it. And I would honestly say listen to your gut, because, you know, things like DePaul recruited me out of high school, and I had quite a few offers. And I stayed in California because my family was there. So, you know, I had a great rapport with Huge. I love the city. I love the school. Like I said, I love the family atmosphere. So I would say it wouldn't have gotten worse. I would say it's only grown. So I would just say, you know, things work out for a reason. And, you know, if you're feeling the love, you should go for it, because it's going to love you back. So,
Liza, you said you live outside of Green Bay. Are you a Packers fan?
I am. I was never a Bears fan when I lived here. Sorry.
Get out.
I was a 49er fan before I moved here.
That's true. You were in California.
I supported the Bears when I was here, but I'm not like gung ho.
You're not rah-rah.
I'm just like,
Well,
I'll
this
watch
one
the
is,
football
and
game.
so-
Are you a big Bears?
Unfortunately, yeah. I mean,
Hey, they did great this year.
Hey, I'll tell you, it's the first year in my life that it is, and I'm not exaggerating when I say that. It's the first year in my life where I'm like, oh, this is a wonderful feeling. and when they beat Green Bay, Bears, in the playoff game, I was bartending, because I bartend, and I had a woman in the bar who I know, and she's like, this is what it felt like on the day of my wedding and the day that I got engaged. And I said, so this is what being in love feels like? I said, I'm in love, and I'm in love with the Chicago Bears.
But you know success. From your career,
Yes.
from the 49ers, from the Packers, you've seen it.
They had a great year. They're growing. Like, they've gotten better like the last few years.
Now they just can't move and leave us. No. Anyway,
I heard that, yeah. I
digress.
I didn't really saw that.
Liza, it was great to have you on. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for being a part of this, and congratulations.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.